Hey, it's October, and in Orlando, we have the greatest weather you can imagine, guys. It's so gorgeous. I have a few people with me tonight here for this call. Yeah, they're rowdy, they're crazy, they're fired up. I hope you have a few with you online, and maybe some of you even invited them over to your living room or your den or wherever you are, your office, to grow together, to become more so we can do more. Anyhow, I'm so honored that you're here tonight. I started a new collection at G5 on the power of words. The words that you say, how powerful they are. I don't want you to go, oh, yeah. I really need you to just dig in right now with me, okay? As a leader, as a father, as a friend, as a spouse, you have no idea, we don't have any idea of the power that is in our words, the weight of them. I'm talking about three dynamics in this collection that in any conversation you have, you will connect so much greater if you understand these three dynamics at work. I would encourage you to go to our app and go to it, The Power of Words. But tonight, I want to talk to you about the power of positive self-talk. What you say to yourself. I know everybody listening to me right now, you talk to yourself. You say things to yourself, whether they're thoughts or some of you even literally talk out loud. Tim, what in the world are you doing? Why in the world did you say that? Why didn't you do that? You know you're not living up to your potential. The power of self-talk is not ignoring the negative or unpleasant aspects of life. It's not being deceived that life doesn't have challenge, but it's flipping the narrative so that you can approach these issues with a much more positive and productive way. You say, PT, why are you talking to me about this tonight? I will tell you why. Because your future promotions, your future teammates, your children and your wife and your husband, we have some women joining us tonight too, is going to depend on it. Most of us are not aware of how negative our self-talk is. And I will tell you, you will never be able to speak positively to another person talking negatively to yourself. What you tell yourself defines how you interact with other people. For example, when you come to self-talk, if you make a mistake, it may trigger a past experience where you were reprimanded for an error. Now stay with me. Where you were embarrassed by it, where you literally said in a job situation or in a relationship, I cannot believe I did that. And you say to yourself, I'm such an idiot and I'm gonna pay for that later. Have you ever really taken time to listen to what you're saying to yourself, what you're telling yourself? And what you need to do is say, I learned something today that I'm going to be able to apply tomorrow, and it's going to give me a greater chance at what it is I want to accomplish. Hey guys, here are some incredible positive self-talk things that will happen in your life. Number one, when you talk positively to yourself, you will reduce stress and anxiety in your life. When you talk positively to yourself, it reduces stress and anxiety. Some of you are talking to yourself right now. I'm lost. I don't know where I am. I don't know what to do. I don't know my purpose. You got to tell that negative voice in your head right now, I'm not performing like I should. Everybody else is beating me. I'm not becoming I'll never be where I need to be. I'll never. Stop. Reduce the stress and the anxiety. The other thing it does is it increases happiness. You live a happier life. When you're happy, when a company is happy, when employees are happy, their productivity goes up. In your life, your relationships get better when you have an overwhelming sense of I'm happy. Have you ever been unhappy and you just keep telling yourself how unhappy I am? I'm unhappy with my situation. I'm unhappy with my relationship. I'm unhappy. Hey, listen, start speaking what you want, not what you're experiencing. The next one is it encourages healthy habits. In your life right now, this encourages healthy habits in your life. The other thing it does is it promotes self-confidence. Now, I know we're Christians on this call, a lot of us are, and I know we want to give God the glory for everything in our lives, and we should. But I want you to know that God does not want you walking around thinking, poor oh me, I'm not any good, I don't have any value. God wants you to be confident in Him and in you. Put me in, coach. Put me in. I'm ready to play the game. The other thing it does is it decreases negativity and psychological symptoms. It decreases negativity and psychological symptoms. As a result, this can enhance your psychological situation, your physical well-being, your spiritual well-being, and your skills and your lifespan. You may even notice that there will be a change in your immune system when you begin to speak differently to yourself. I don't know if you've ever spent any time with a negative person. They're really great at pointing out problems. You can be high as a kite and leave lower than a pregnant ant by just having one voice in any meeting that is depleting instead of uplifting. Personal relationships are going to get better and your work performance is going to go up. Implementing positive self-talk into your daily routine, saying things like, man, I am loved. I am valuable. Talking about God, He is for me. He's not against me. He's not trying to punish me. He's actually for me. I am valued. I really matter. How much of this do you say to yourself every day? You see, I think sometimes we're better at saying positive things to other people than we are ourselves. And if you're not careful tonight, you're going to tune me out because there's something inside of you that says this is too simple. Watch what happens in the next 7 days when you start speaking to yourself differently. What do I do? How do I practice this daily? I'm glad you asked. Number one, don't fall into negative self-talk traps. Be careful of negativity that comes out in your self-talk and it becomes a trap. The first step to being able to identify negative thinking usually is to be able to identify some categories where I need to be looking for these traps. Number one is personalizing. This is when you blame yourself for everything. Have you ever been around somebody that talks negative to themselves? Some of your children are talking negative to yourselves, and you need to give them these points that will help them. The next thing is when you magnify everything, where you would focus solely on the negativity aspects of the experience or the situation without acknowledging any of the positive. We have really worked hard in our home, and I work hard with leaders in every situation you're in. Walk away, and the first 2 or 3 things you say, make it positive. And then you can say, but we can get better at this, and then come back with the positive. But we're getting better than we used to be. Watch what happens. Magnifying. The next one is where we make everything a catastrophe. It's just everything, you're always expecting the worst. So you begin to program yourself that this is not going to go right. The sale's not going to go right. The recruiting's not going to go right. That conversation is not going to go right. You begin to expect the worst. People even tell me I do this because I don't want to be let down. I promise you're going to be let down because you've already taken yourself down. You've set the bar at a lower level instead of a higher level. So be careful. The other one is polarizing. And that is the type of thinking where you don't give yourself any area to think outside of just this and this. Right or wrong, you got to be able to think outside of it. I'm not talking about being able to lose your integrity. What I'm talking about is you've got to be able to keep your options open and think beyond your present circumstances. What makes a leader great is when they can look at the same thing everybody else is looking at and see something completely and totally different. More positive, more uplifting, bigger, beyond. Isn't it easy to have small thinking? And it's easy to say small things. But if you're going to be somebody that makes a massive impact in this life with your words, man, be uplifting and be authentic. There's always kinds of negative things that can happen around you. And you and I have got to be willing to find out the triggers that are causing me to say things that cause me anxiety, fear, and doubt, and negativity. I encourage you to write that statement down and come back to it. Because most of us don't understand how we're self-defeating by speaking to ourselves in a way that is so depleting. It's amazing. Number two, I encourage you to treat yourself like you would treat a friend. Don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to anyone else. Here's some advice from the Mayo Clinic staff. Be gentle and encouraging to yourself. If a negative thought enters into your mind, evaluate it rationally and respond with an affirmation of what is good about you and good about the challenge. Think about the things that you're grateful for, that you're thankful for in your life, in the past, in the present, and in the future. Wow. I got to ask you a question. What are you going to do with your future? What separates you from everyone else on this call tonight is your picture of tomorrow, your picture of the future. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to grow? Are you going to learn? Are you going to develop? Are you going to become? Are you going to keep reaching? By the way, what conversation do you need to have with somebody right now that will not accept your negative excuse for why you cannot be more and do more? Number three, make self-care a priority. Take care of your mind, of your body, and of your spirit. Even if you only feel like I have a really small window of time, the research, I encourage you to go look at it, even in helping with depression, of just going outside for a 5-minute walk in the sun. What it will do for you, do something for yourself. That's not being selfish. On the airplane, they said, first put the mask on yourself and then others around you. If you don't take care of you, you won't be able to take care of anyone else. And let me tell you, I want to tell you right now, come on. There is an opportunity coming to you this week that if you do not fill yourself up, you will be so depleted you'll say no to it. You'll miss the blessing because you didn't take care of you. It's engaging in activities. It's rejuvenating yourself overall. It's being mindful. It's thinking, it's processing, it's reading, it's being with the right people, it's meditation, it's prayer, it's positive activities, it's preparing meals that make you feel better and doing things that make you feel happy, such as playing with your kids and doing things that fill you up. I can tell you for me a little secret. A lot of my preaching comes out of my alone time where I'm just feeding me. Listen to me, leaders. A lot of you right now, you're feeding others while you are being you've got maltuition. You're literally right now, you're not giving yourself the vitamins that you need inside of you. And because you don't feed you, it limits your ability to feed others. You can't even see opportunities that are in front of you that other people can see because you are so empty on the inside. I just want to encourage you during your day, before you get with your family, give yourself some nutrition mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that you can go in and love and care and be with your family. Number 4, limit your exposure to negativity. You can't bury your head in the sand, but you can at least limit the amount of negativity that goes on in your life. There are probably some social media apps that you have that you probably need to avoid. There are probably some things that you look at on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok that you probably should avoid. Everybody's posting the greatness in their life. They're not posting the struggles they go through in life. So in your life, I encourage you to put yourself around more positive people than negative. And by the way, I want to challenge you in that circle. I want you to speak more positivity. I want you to live more positively than anyone else in that group. Be an encourager. Number 5, this is so huge. Practice gratitude. If you need to keep a gratitude journal, do it. But I would keep a mental checklist and find out the things in your life that you are grateful for. And I would rehearse them, I would think about them, I would meditate on them, and I can tell you this will eventually, will lead to you improving your self-talk to yourself. Most of us spend too much time rehearsing our failures, our mistakes, and our regrets. What we haven't accomplished versus speaking where we're going, the difference that we're going to make, the value that we're going to add, the life that we're going to bring into a situation. Number 6, change your vocabulary. I wrote a book, I encourage you to get it if you haven't, called The Vocabulary of a Leader. If you keep hearing yourself saying, I can't, too often, you got to understand how much this is limiting you. Do you even know your potential? Do you even speak to your potential? I can tell you this with 1,000% accuracy. None of us on this call tonight are living to our potential. We're just not all we can be yet. So remove the words from your vocabulary that says I can't to I can. I can. Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Number 7, take a time out. If you feel negativity creeping in, stop what you're doing and check in with your feelings. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? Have I been on a big diet of negativity and I'm being overwhelmed? If you can't look at an elephant and say, I gotta bite it and I'm gonna eat it in one bite. You have to break it down. So you've got dreams and goals, you've got ambition, you've got things that you know you should do. Break it down into smaller parts. Set your priorities and watch what happens. Number 8, post positive affirmations. Post positive affirmations. Get a 3x5 card and put it on your bathroom mirror. Put it on the dashboard in your car. You can change your mindset by strategic placing of positive affirmations and things around your house, in your workplace. Put things in your life that cause you to think positively and be grateful and know why you're doing what you're doing. I'm going to tell you this. You already know this. We just don't do this. If you would clarify your why more than it is, your performance would go through the roof this week. If you know what you're working for, if you know why you're working for, if you know who's going to benefit from what you're doing, it will change everything. And by the way, sometimes you've got to learn how to encourage yourself. Maybe you don't have somebody in your life that's encouraging. So you're going to have to learn how to encourage yourself. I can tell you this. Say this to yourself. These are important things to say. It took courage for me to do what I just did, and I'm proud of myself for trying. I have value. I have purpose. I can't control what other people think. I can only control what I think. Fear is only a feeling. It cannot hold me back. I can use my strengths. I want you to list later, after you get off this call tonight, I want you to list 5 strengths that you have. I'm a good problem solver. I care about people. I'm compassionate. I'm a great listener. I want you to list 5 strengths that you see in yourself. Do you realize when I ask most people, what is your main strength or your main gift? They look at me. You need to know. I can tell you for me, I'm a hope giver. I give people hope. Every time they get in my circle, I'm going to make sure they leave with hope in their soul, that tomorrow can be better than today. You got to give hope. You got to be a hope giver. You got to be an encourager. By the way, we found out Sunday, some words have more power than others, and negative words are way more powerful than positive words. If you at work, have one negative response, it takes 10 positive things to dilute that. Dads, this is so powerful. Men, this is so powerful. Be careful that you don't think you can criticize people into greatness. So, number 9, I encourage you to find humor. Find humor. Give yourself permission to laugh. Man, when you're in life, learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to laugh at the things that are going on around you. Number 10, I want to encourage you to get around the right people. Have the right association. Get the right mentor in your life, the right coach. Get a counselor. Get somebody that can help you see past where you are. A lot of times we get so physically fit, but we're not mentally and spiritually fit. I want to encourage you to do that. Now, I may go 5 minutes extra tonight, but I think this is so critical. I want you to speak positive to you, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to learn 10 ways to speak life into someone else. I want you this week to take these 10 things and begin to say them to other people around you. Your spouse, your children, your coworker, whoever is on your team. I want you guys to come after this. So, here are the 10 things I want you to do to speak life into somebody. Number 1, tell them how much they mean to you. And be specific. I love the way you love. I love the way you care for people. I love the way that you are so hungry to learn. I love the way you honor other people. I love the way you come and you serve and you give your life away. I love the fact that you continually, I want you to start saying these things specifically to people that are around you. Number 2, let them know the ways that they bless you. Maybe it's their smile. Maybe it's their heart. Maybe it's a generous spirit. Maybe it's something that they do. Let them, tell them. You're thinking it, tell it. Unexpressed gratitude is really ingratitude. So I want to encourage you. Let them know. Number 3, see something great inside them and let them know about it. Bro, I love this about you. You're such an incredible warrior. I could go around this call tonight with all of you that are on this call, and I literally could tell every one of you something great that you are and something that you've done for me. In the moment when you didn't think you were doing anything, you did everything. You never know when you're talking to somebody. You don't know what they're going through. Matter of fact, the greater the leader is, the less they will tell you about their struggles. They will talk to you about the future. See something great inside of them and speak it over their lives. And by the way, if you really want to be powerful, speak it over their lives in front of other people. So critical. Never play favorites in that, though. Dads, don't ever say something great about one of your children in front of the other child without saying something great about them. So critically important. Number 4, you're going to think I'm crazy, okay? But man, say something about their hair, their eyes. There's something that you really appreciate about them. I appreciate the way you dress. I appreciate the way you do this. Now, guys, we got to be careful of this. I'm not saying to go out and tell other women how beautiful they are, but I just want to encourage you to just compliment you. Compliment somebody. Number 5, pray for them and let them know you're praying for them. I'm praying for you. You're on my heart. I've been thinking about them. Number 6, invite them to do something special with you and tell them how much it means that they would take their time away from what they're doing to spend it with you. Guys, this may be that I just call a friend of mine and go, hey, you want to get a cup of coffee? Hey, let's go grab some Mexican food. Hey, can we sit down and chat? And always value their time and let them know how much their time means to you. Tonight, I value your time for being on this call. There's a lot of things you need to do. There's a lot of things pulling at you, and you took time to get on this call tonight. I would encourage you, number 7, is to read an encouraging Bible verse to them. Maybe text it to them in the morning. Send it to them and say, hey, I was reading this today, and it made me think of you. I'm just so grateful for you. Number 8, listen to the gentle voice inside of you that's leading you to reach out to someone. If you get this warm, fuzzy thing in your heart that's going, man, I need to text them, do it. Do it. Do it. Follow those gentle voices inside of you that are leading you. Maybe it's sometime you just say, hey, bro, can I stop by and drop you off a cup of coffee? Do something that makes them feel real and validated and important. Number 9, validate their feelings when they're sad and their emotions are kind of tore up, and lead them to the bigger picture. Hey, I know these present sufferings right now will not compare to the joy that's ahead of you. I know you're going through a tough time right now, but tough times don't last. Tough people do. I just want you to know this is all working for your good. See, I just want you to validate it. I know that hurts. I'm so sorry. I can feel that. Have empathy for them. But always bring it to a bigger picture. The last one, and I close tonight, by the way, I'm getting it in, guys, I'm fired up, is celebrate their victories. Celebrate their victories. Tomorrow night, Tuesday Fire here, I'm doing a collection right now on recovery. How do you recover? Believe it or not, a big part of recovery is celebration. You need to throw a party this year for you. You need to buy your own birthday cake and put some candles on it and go, yeah. Some of you haven't been able to go to the barbershop or the beauty salon. You know what you need to do? You need to go and you need to celebrate it. I want to invite some of my friends over sometime and go, man, I just want to celebrate this together. We don't celebrate enough. Some of you know what? We're kind of wired this way. We have a big win and you know what? We go, okay, that was okay, but move on. You're making a massive mistake. Massive. Because when you don't celebrate, you don't have time to rejuvenate. And you need to take a moment and let this fill up your heart. Every one of you've had a victory, and you need to celebrate it. You need to celebrate it in a big way. I want to hear from you on how this is working out personally and in other people's lives. Don't be fake. Don't be phony. Don't use it to manipulate people. Most people use recognition in a wrong way. Use it to encourage and to inspire and challenge. Every person around you right now needs encouragement. And you have a calling on your life, every one of us tonight, to be a major encourager, to be somebody that builds up and not tears down. I know what you're thinking right now. Not me, Tim. Not me. My little voice. I got no real influence. Sorry, guys, I bumped my mic. Here's what I can tell you. You have no idea what the word of encouragement at the right time will do for someone. It's going to be okay. You're going to make it. We got this. You're not alone. Learn these words. Men's, we're not really good at it. Some of us are better than others. But I just want to challenge you as men tonight to understand the power of your words. I love you, man. Keep charging. Have a great, great rest of the month. And I can't wait to be with you next month. Maybe you'll invite some friends. Maybe you'll send this talk to somebody that needs it. Send them the link so they can watch it. I want to challenge you tonight to encourage, take this information and share it with at least 10 other people. A mom, a dad, a teenager, someone maybe that is retired, that maybe feels like their life has no value. I want you to get involved. Here's what I want to end with. Powerful scripture in the Old Testament says, he or she who refreshes others will be refreshed. Come on, let's go get it. I'm proud of you. Great being with you tonight, guys. Charge. Yeah. So you can put me back on. Hey, I always take a few minutes after this is over if you want to hang around with me. If anybody's got a question about this or you have a question about anything, life, leadership, relationships. By the way, relationships are so impacted by this. Tonight, maybe you can put it in the chat if you have a question, and we'll talk about this, how I can be better at being life-giving, how I can be better at talking rightly to myself. Self-esteem and self-worth is such a driver. When you feel like you matter, when you feel like you have something to offer of importance, it changes lives. Matter of fact, every child development person on this planet will tell you that a child that is not listened to does not believe they have anything of value to say. So I want you to know tonight that what you have to say is so valuable. Does anybody have a question in the room or outside the room tonight? Would love to hear from you, man. We got some great leaders on this call. Is anything coming in the chat? Yeah, if you have questions, you can put it in the chat right now. You can do that. I promise you, the greatest people in your life are the people in your life that when you were at the lowest point in your life, stood with you and built you up and made you believe that it was possible, that you could overcome. Some of you right now are living with people that are not positive. You're around people that are not positive. They're negative. You say, what do I do with that? Well, I would very lovingly and very kindly and very gently say to them, I love you so much, but I have made a decision in my life to speak positively and think positively. And I would ask you that you would join me. It doesn't mean that I won't solve problems. It doesn't mean that I will not take on what I need to take on. I won't ignore it. I won't shove it under the rug. It just means I'm not going to live in negativity any longer. So I hope that adds value to you there too. Go ahead, guys. We got a question?
All right, we have a question. Outside of the Bible, what are some other books could you recommend to learn how to encourage?
Yeah. There's a book by Norman Vincent Peale. Just anything he's got, I would encourage you to get it. He's incredible positivity thinker. Matter of fact, he wrote books on the power of positive. I would encourage you to read his books. They're probably on Amazon. Norman Vincent Peale, Positivity. It's incredibly, incredibly important. I could give you a lot of others, but those are some books that early in my life, when I was 18, 19, 20, that just had such a profound effect on my life because he was just so positive. Believe it or not, thinking positively and speaking positively is a learned skill that most of us never have learned. Think about it. I don't think there was ever a class in school, high school or grade school, that ever talked about it. I don't think in college they ever talked about the importance of it. It was in business and in life that you start to realize how important this subject is in every one of our lives. Another question? I have a question here. Anybody got a question? Yeah, go ahead. Question here. This is Michael.
So if you're very well known, I guess, for being a realistic person, you tend to be the negative one. How do you kind of make it feel like it's more genuine when you try to be positive, but everybody thinks, your whole life you always kind of were the Debbie Downer or something like that, and they just always tend to think you're trying to be fake or, it's not you, so why are you saying this? And they just kind of tend to not believe you.
So you have somebody that is used to you being very negative and you're starting to be positive, and then people don't believe it's authentic.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Hey, this is a new me. Stay with me. You're going to like the new me because I found out that it's so much more important to be positive than it is to be negative. It's funny because it almost comes to encouragement. If you're not used to being encouraged, you always think somebody wants something from you. How are you trying to use me? And so right now you got to understand, in this world, if you turn on the news, negativity is what sells. Because people don't feel challenged. They're like, the world's bad, so I'm bad, so let me keep it all bad. When a positive voice steps into the place and that space, at first it seems a little not authentic. You just stay with it. Stay with it. And the other thing I would encourage you to do is do it in doses that they can take. Do it in doses that they can take. I hope that's helpful, man. Yeah. I got another one? All right, Matt, go ahead.
Okay, so I had a quick question. So I know you guys had relationship night with Mama G, and you guys were talking. What is your opinion on dating apps and things like that? Especially with the younger generation, is that a good way to meet people and talk
on dating apps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think dating apps are a lot like job resumes. I think people write a lot of stuff that they want people to think. That is not really reality. I think they embellish. So, it's amazing because the younger generation this is how they're connecting. And I think that you have to be very, very cautious as you move forwards. And Mama G and I just did, matter of fact, it will be out. We just did a relationship night here at G5, and we talked about that dating is really an evaluation time. You're looking for values. You're looking for attitudes. You're looking for outlook. Honestly, you're looking for positive or negative. You're looking to see if people love agreement. You're trying to find out what the priorities of their life are. You're not just going out because it feels good and we're laughing. I want to tell you this. I'll look you right in the eye and tell you this right now. It's possible to fall in love with the wrong person because you don't have anything in common. Most relationship breakups happen over values. One person likes to save money, another person likes to spend it. What am I going to do with my schedule? What are we going to do with our time? Values. So you need to be very wise when you walk into those situations because it's easy to present anything, but you got to watch. You have to listen. You have to evaluate. I didn't say judge. You got to evaluate. I got one more question. I'm going to take one more and then guys, gals, I'll let you go.
All right. How does someone go about finding a mentor who has never had one?
So mentorship is really, really wild. I think you have to look at somebody and not ask what do they know or who they know, but you got to ask how do they live their life. I want to say this to you, okay? You teach what you know, but you reproduce what you are. Not only do you receive the teachings of a person, you receive the spirit of that person. And I'm not trying to be critical right now, but the world is full of a lot of knowledge and not doing and not living. You want to check the fruit on the tree. And you want to make sure that the mentor does not have an agenda for your life. If I have an agenda for your life, I'm talking about my own agenda, my own selfish agenda. I want you to do this for me. Probably not a good relationship. But if they want what's best for you, for your calling, for your giftedness, for where you're headed, it makes all the difference in the world. So I just want to encourage you. Mentors help you get better at who you are. Coaching helps you get better at what you do. Spiritual help helps you grow in your spiritual life so that you can grow your capacity. All right, you got one more hot one? Okay, let's do it.
Right.
Thanks, guys, for hanging on with me.
What's it like to be your daughter's hero?
Oh, my God. Yeah. I don't need to say anything. I guess because she's mine. Just like my son is mine. It's humbling. It's overwhelming. It's convicting. Makes me want to be a better man. Am I proud? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of the people they are, not just what they do. I'm proud of the way they've managed their lives. I'm proud of the way they've led themselves. They haven't wasted their lives. They have deep convictions and deep values. I admire that. So I and my wife, Mama G, we've lived for that. Remember, it's not what you do in the big moments of your life. It's what you do in the quiet moments of your life. When no one is looking and no one is watching, that's the moment where it changes all. So, hey, sorry I get a little emotional there, but I'm grateful. Are we good? Let me say thank you to Seth and Spencer for all this tonight. Josh, thank you for helping. All you guys that come here, my son Blake for helping set up tonight. And guys, rock and roll. I hope I see you online tomorrow night for Tuesday Fire. And we'll rock and roll, okay? I love you. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Go get this thing done. Charge. Bye-bye.